You know, I forgot my glasses. Isn't that great again? I'm going to talk about something that you wouldn't consider that was part of the kitchen, but it really was. We used to have to make starch. I don't know if you know what a dry iron is, but we used to have a dry iron and a steam iron. We always had two irons. Now, the dry iron was just an iron that heated up, and that was it. We had no controls over it, and that was it. We did that with our starch. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about material and hormones to give you an idea. Let me go get my glasses. Now, my mother used to buy starch. She would buy it in the bottle and it was blue liquid. What it is made of is actually cornstarch with bluing. You could buy bluing at a bodega store. They used to have it in the store. It was a little tiny cube. And you bought cornstarch. Good morning, everyone. And you would sit there and make your starch. Now, we're going to talk about hormones because that is nutrition and that leads into why we did what we used to do. We'll be talking about material so you'll understand about material as well. Men and women sweat. We have our hormones. The women have ovaries, the males have, we have ovaries, they have the testes, okay? Now, men are hunters. Excuse me for a minute. No, this, matter of fact, I've been up for almost 2 hours now. So the men were hunters, so their hormones, as much as you don't want to hear it, because of the testes, they have much stronger hormones than us. That's the hunter in them, that's the protector of them, and everything else. Now, materials. Now we have to go into materials so you can understand where I'm going with this. Now, women sweat. We'll get to the materials. Women can sweat, but their sweat is not as strong and it's not hard on material. But men's sweat is much stronger and it used to tear materials apart. It still does today. So let me straighten. It still does today. Now, when I was growing up, we did not have elastane, elastic, or anything else in our clothes. We had cotton, we had wool, we had natural fibers, and we had linen, which is just a finer, oh, I love linen. Linen's a beautiful, fine finished material. I just love it. It has little knots in it. It's really, really beautiful. Good morning again to everybody. Now, men, they noticed that the men's clothing were constantly tearing. Another thing that takes a lot of beating are hankies as well. Hankies are made out of cotton. Pillowcases are made out of cotton. Doilies, the threads that we use are cotton. The men's shirts and a lot of the clothes that we wore were cotton. And when it was cold, we went into wools and corduroys and other things. But we didn't have any elastic in our clothes. Now, we noticed that men, their sweat would break down the material much faster than it would with a woman. Not that the shirt was that he intentionally tore it or anything. It's just that his sweat was that strong because that's the hunter in him and the protector. It's an automatic hormones. There's nothing they can do about it. It's natural. So the women learned that if they made starch and they starched the cotton pieces and another thing, and the hankies, they would last longer. Now, why they starched the pillowcases that were cotton? This was because men used to put grease in their hair and it'd get on the pillow. And anybody who knows about oil and grease, it does not come out. So to protect the pillowcases and all these things, that's why you had doilies on the back of the chairs and stuff. These women would make them and they would starch them with starch and they would lay them out. Now, for the shirts and stuff, we had to use the dry iron to iron these things. You couldn't use steam because when you would wash them, some people would dry. My mother took it directly from the washing machine. She would make the starch and she would dip the clothes in it, wring it out, and put it on the line. You can't put them in the dryer. You'd have to put them on the line to dry. And they dry very, very stiff. You can't move them, okay? And you lay them out. And we used to use you could have a jar and have holes in it. My mother had a sprinkler and she would sprinkle the clothes. Sprinkle them with water after they're dry. This is the whole step we used to go through. And she would fold them and roll them up and stick them in a bag and leave them for about an hour. Now, the beautiful part about this is we could stick them in the freezer once we rolled them up and put them in a bag, and we could iron them later if we had a long day that day. But the reason we were starching all these things was because of the grease in the hair, as well as the sweat from the men, which actually the starch protected the shirts. The shirts lasted much longer. They didn't wear out as fast. And my brother was so enthusiastic. He said, Mommy, I want my blue jeans done. Well, she's all, I'll starch them, but you're ironing them. And he did. He had to iron them with a dry iron. You couldn't use steam because when you rolled them up and you dampened them and rolled them up and you let them sit for an hour, they were going to be wet. This is what the dry iron was for, to dry them out. And this was to actually protect the clothes. Now, since they've put elastic into these clothes, they can call it elastane. They'll call it any name, but it's elastic. Now, this is why you can't starch these clothes anymore. Now, when we starched our clothes would last for years and years and years because they were starched in 100% cotton. Because we starched those clothes, they didn't break down as much. But when you have elastic in the clothes, you cannot starch them, and they wear out faster. You'll notice that if you buy anything with elastic, after a couple of years, if you're wearing it and you really enjoy it, you'll notice that slowly the knees will hold the shape of a bent leg, the elbows, or it gets too big and starts to stretch. This is because they put elastic in it. So you find out today, though you don't have to iron these clothes, you find you're replacing your clothes much faster than you would normally do that. This is because of the elastic in it. See what's going on now? So you can't starch the clothes, you can't make them last longer or anything else. Another thing that they've done that I've been quite upset, I don't even sew that often anymore. I just found some places that have natural material without elastic in it, which I'm very happy about. And I'm going to be ordering and I'll start making clothes. But I want to get away from the elastic. But when you sew, they're now trying women to sew on sergers. Now, that was when we knew the difference between what was store-bought and handmade. Well, really sewn at home, but we called it handmade because we made it at home, and we did it ourselves. You always have a 5-inch seam on homemade clothes. You might have what is it? Oh, what is it called? Pinking shears. You might trim the edge because it unthreads faster, and using pinking shears will definitely prevent it from undo it. But when we bought things at the store, you'd notice it had like a 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch seam, and you had threads covering the whole thing up. Those are sergers. Now they're trying to get people at home to start using sergers instead of using their sewing machines. And the people, when you buy clothes and they tear, you don't have any seams to do the repair on. You see, this is how society, though, they give you the break of, oh, I don't have to iron, but you're buying more clothes. And when they tear, you really can't mend them because you don't have a seam. So if you try to make a seam, then it's too small and then it doesn't fit. This is the whole object of why they're doing this. And I might as well bring it to your attention and let you know this is how society controls you and gets you to spend money that you don't always have. Thank you, Mr. Horsepower. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So this is why it goes on. But they're changing the materials and stuff. So you can't do and keep your clothes longer. I have outfits that would last me for many years. Now, when you starch your hankies, you will notice that they don't stain as easily because you have that starch to protect them. Another thing is when you do the pillowcases, you don't see the grime and how they're turning yellow and getting older. This is why they give you different colored pillowcases, because with your sheets, because we used to have just white sheets, so it was very important that we had to sit there and protect the material and stuff. So we didn't have to starch the sheets, but we had to starch the pillowcases. But you can see now they color them so you don't have to starch them, and you don't see the dirt that's really there or the grease that's building up on these things. Society's very quick to hide what they're really doing, and people don't know this. Let's see. It goes, okay. So this is what goes on. And it all started starching. Now, if you wanted to know, could you dry the clothes in the dryer that you starched? No, they have to hang up and air dry because the material has to soak that starch in. Now, to make starch is very simple. You need cornstarch and you need bluing. You make almost as thick as pudding, a cornstarch mixture with the water you cook it, right? And you put as much bluing in as you want. And the bluing is a bleach and it also helps your clothes. So when you hang them out, it's going to help draw that sunlight. And they make them, they're really bright. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't believe this. They're probably saying, no, you're full of it. No, I'm not. I remember hanging clothes out on the line. And it soaks in that starch into the threads. So all your threads are protected. Not tablecloths were starched. So if you spilled something, it didn't stain as fast. But anything that was cotton, you could bet one way or another was going to see the starch. And that's how it was. Aprons didn't get dirty. They starched them. Stains, you can't starch these. These are polyester. No way can you do it. It doesn't work. It will just, it acts funny on polyester. Polyester can't take it, and it can't take a hot iron. So you can. So anyway, I wanted to bring that to your attention, that women used to make starch in the kitchen. I did up to a couple years ago. Then my son decided, well, could you iron this shirt and that shirt? And I know, wait a minute, I don't mind ironing the house clothes of mine. I don't mind, and the house things I have around the house. I don't mind starching my stuff, but I'll be darned if I'm going to sit there and iron your starched clothes. No, but I know how to make my own starch. This is something women used to have to do. So the dry iron was always for our starch, and the steam iron was for the other clothes. So now you know why your clothes are wearing out faster, why you don't have to iron them or anything else. But the thing is I can guarantee you my clothes will last a heck of a lot longer starching them in pillowcases than anybody who sits there and buys stuff with elastane. It doesn't work and it doesn't breathe. So you find you get hotter in it. The normal cotton will sit there and absorb the fluid and make you feel more comfortable. But I thought I'd let you know these things for people, because a lot of home ec is not teaching you about sewing. They're not teaching you about cooking. They don't even teach you the proper way to clean. They don't teach you this. Mothers are working, so they buy instant foods. These girls are vacillated. The men are vacillated. My father repaired things in the house. Constantly things were being. Oh. Some of you are really nasty early in the morning, so you must have been working all night or you have nothing better to do because you're too stupid. Anyway, so that gives you understanding that males are vacillated. If things break, you don't know what to do, which is a poor set of society. Young girls don't know what to do, and because of this, because both parents are working and the school's not really teaching them, if anything happens, these young people are going to be up the creek without a paddle, which is a sorry state of affairs. And this is what goes on. And I've slowly watched all of this go on. Oh, yeah, you can see them. And you always see the trolls and the people who are just nasty. But I wanted you to know, and this is what happens. So if anything goes wrong, they will totally be vacillating, not knowing what to do. So I feel sorry for the young people. That's why I say I am so glad I am not young. Have both parents working and not being taught, and then go to school, they teach you how to make candy. You don't need to know how to make candy. You cannot live off candy. You're going to need to really cook. So there's a lot that goes on, and I can say to becoming a man, and there's a lot that goes on for a young girl to become a woman. But these are just some of the things that we have lost, and I talk about them. And I also show you the old way of cooking so you can also sit there and make your family more healthy because you take more control of it than other people. Yeah, that's the truth. Best fried potatoes. Are you talking about French fries or sweet potato fries? I don't know, Ozark, what you're talking about. But anyway, I hope that helps you. I was going to make those chili lime muffins, but I'm thinking about making those into scones instead. But we've got snow coming, so I'm having a small chat this morning because it's going to be coming diced. No, not diced. You would have to make fries there. They're sliced. Okay, diced is usually when you're going to boil. Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Anyway, so that's why I'm going to give a quick chat about starch and about the things that you learn. You have to soak the starch out so they fry and you get the crispiness that you're looking for the potatoes. You have to soak them to get the starch out of them, dry them. You might have to change the water twice before you can do it. Make girls mad. No, I don't think I want to get that close to an alligator. Okay. All right. So anyway, I hope that helps you. But remember, the kitchen wasn't just for food. It was also for the clothes, to care for your clothes, and it was also with medicine. Medicine came out of the kitchen. The women actually had to be the medical provider, and not only did she make the clothes for the family, she also had to care to make sure they lasted a long time. Other than that, and remember, you can't make things fast in one day. And also, she had to learn to cook, so she was very busy. Men were constantly repairing things. If things break in the house or the knives need sharpening, he would do that. But people don't know that now. If things break, they just sit there and say, "Oh, throw it out, get another one. That's it." It's a necklace my husband came home for me. Here is the whole design. He sat there and let me see. He bought it for me and he came in with it. It was a surprise. And I told him thank you. Listen, some of your questions are ridiculous, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So when I talk about things, they had to make their own soap in the kitchen at one time, remember. And people are going back to doing that. I'm going to go back to starching once I get away from all this elastic that I hate, and go back to what I know, which makes my clothes last longer. But if you want to know why your clothes are going faster and you're spending more money for clothes, and they're asking for hundreds of dollars for elastic, knowing it's only going to be there for like this much. But if it's 100% cotton and stuff, it'll last a very long time. Matter of fact, you'd even be able to hand the clothes down. So listen, I want all of you to take care. And I'm not going to be able to do the scones because when it snows or rains, you definitely tell me you can't see. And it gets all foggy and messed up. So I'm going to sit there, and if it's clear tomorrow, I'll try doing it tomorrow. Oh yeah, I do make pancakes, eggs, and bacon. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm explaining why you can't do certain things. Now, like, oh, here's something else you might not know is you use fabric softeners, right? And you notice after a while, after you've had them so long, you have to get rid of your towels and stuff because you put fabric softener in it. Do you know what fabric softener is? Wax. And if you've ever canned the old way, oh, that's why I wouldn't can when they canned that way. You had to melt wax and pour it on top of the jams and stuff, and then seal it up to make sure there was no air in it. And if you've ever tried to clean those pots with wax, you will know. That's why when you use these fabric softeners, there's wax in it, and that's why at first they're so soft, and then after a while they're not anymore, and you have to get rid of them and say, what's wrong with my towel? That's because you built all the wax up on it and you can't get it off. Well, you can, Madison, you can love the smell and you can use it, but just understand they put wax in it and they put fragrance in it and all, but they won't tell you. This is why I spend so much time reading labels on things. I walk down the aisle of cleansing stuff. I'll pick up bleach, borax, 20 meal team borax, baking soda. Let's see, I'll pick up Pledge, Palmolive, Windex, and I bypass everything else straight through. I won't touch anything there. And there are some aisles where they have canned goods. Unless a recipe calls for a specific one, I walk straight through it. The soda aisles, the only thing I'll pick up in the soda aisle is I have to buy spring water because my plants don't like the water that come out of the faucet, so I have to use spring water for my house plants. They're very picky, but I walk down a lot of aisles and I don't touch a lot of things. Oh, so listen, now that you know about fabric softeners and you know about the elastic and what it does to your clothes, well, they don't teach you sewing. I learned to sew before I went to school in home ec, but I already knew how to sew. I already knew how to cook. They didn't teach me much in home ec that I didn't already know because my mother started me very young in it. Then when I went to my grandmother's, she taught me things that were further back. And this is why I have a whole list of knowledge of all the do's and don'ts. I don't know what that means. Trying to figure that one out. Which guy? Taylor? Yeah, I think I can. Hold on. I'm not sure how to do this. Remove. Okay, I just found. I removed the guy. So now you know what a dry iron is, a steam iron. You understand now why your clothes wear out faster and how women used to keep the clothes because they starched them. And that's made with cornstarch and bluing. If you can't find bluing, you just use cornstarch, but you make it thick. And then what you do is you dilute it to the thickness of how much starch you want on it. If you want it stiff as a board where you can't move in it, you leave it thick. But we always thinned ours out. You didn't need it thick, but you needed to definitely make a coat of a starch on all your cottons. I'm not making biscuits right now, I'm not. We have the sweet rolls. I was supposed to make those muffins, but I think scones will be better. But we've got snow coming, so I'm going to have to go. But I want all of you to take care and understand you're being ripped off more than you realize. Yeah, I know, Benjamin. And it also has wax in it. Now, companies that sit there and have these chemicals when they take things, they're mixing these chemicals up and putting them in things that we use. Now they're finding out women who use these things in the house, these new cleansers and stuff, they're starting to have breathing problems. Hello? Think about it. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what German painter you're talking about. I know artists. They used to take me to the museums of paints and show me paintings and portraits and stuff. But listen, I have to let you guys go. We've got a storm coming in, and you won't be able to see anything, so there won't be any more. I've just brought this to your attention to help you Women who are shopping, if you see anything that you don't know what the word is, don't buy it. Look it up. You've got your phone right there. Google that word and find out what it means. Because they've got like 7 to 8 words that mean elastic. Remember, polyester does not breathe. All right? So when you wear polyester, you're hotter than you should be. Cottons and linens and wools and corduroys allow your skin to breathe, but they have to be cared for, and you have to know what you're doing. So always remember that. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Billy. I think I said that right. A snowstorm. They've been talking about this snowstorm. We had snow yesterday. After and I said, well, thank God we weren't doing a live. We had bacon and beef liver, and a tomato sauce. We have leftovers, so we're going to have leftovers today. And another storm, they said it's going to be going all day today, so that's why I came in. Yeah, I do, because I like to eat every day. Northeast in America. Okay, so it's a snowstorm. If it's a heavy rain, you have as much trouble seeing. So we're just making it easier for you to know what's coming on, because I don't want to try cooking and the weather's bad, because it was snowing while we were finishing up cooking. And I know if I had done a live, you would not have been able to see it. It would have just shut down, and that wouldn't have been good. Well, you can eat at McDonald's. Why don't you check and see what's in the meat and the rolls? If you could taste the rolls individually without anything, you'll have a gum taste on it. And the meat has a lot of gristle and stuff on it. Well, really not gristle. It's tough meat, and they grind it up and they put other stuff in it to sort of give you the flavor that you're looking for. Well, the wall, you'd be in trouble. But there is a lot of cooking channels that you can learn to cook. I have simple recipes, and I have some complicated ones. I try to show people how to make food more nutritious. Like I showed you how to do a boiled egg just at the point of done. The yolk and the white is done, and it's very tender. But if I ever make deviled eggs, I let those eggs sit 10 minutes longer, because I want it thoroughly so I can mash the yolk up. So listen, all of you, take care. All right? I really mean it. Take care. Be safe. If you're up on the Northeast, be careful with the storm. And if you're in the Midwest North, I know there's a lot of snow too. So be careful. Okay? Take care and try to enjoy your day to the fullest. Bye-bye.